That just tied a bow on it for Barcelona.
Yeah, so finishes Oviedo 1, Barcelona 3. A reminder what that means then at the top of the table. Barca closed the gap to Real Madrid to 2. Meanwhile, taking a look at the bottom, Oviedo, of course, with just one win so far this season. They sit 18th above the struggling Mallorca and Girona. For more on this, let's welcome in Luis Garcia. Luis, one of those games that if Barcelona win the title, you won't really remember it, but it's 3 points.
Yeah, it's the most important to show once again that the momentum is there. It wasn't the best performance that we've seen of this Barcelona. It was better in the second half. We were talking at halftime, there was needed a little bit more of speed on the ball. We talk about the replacement. Frankie de Jong was one of them, and Lewandowski to have a little bit more high into the box to receiving the crosses that it could happen in the second half, because in through the middle, there was so many people, and the combinations right there is very difficult. You have to be very precise. Having players on the wide areas putting crosses. We saw also Marcus Rashford in a different position on the right side with a good moment, because he's got a fantastic touch. So in the end, it's all about trying to find different situations that you're going to find during the rest of the season. This one wasn't an easy game. I think the Real Oviedo did a fantastic job. Bailey is going to give a lot of strength and solidness at the back of the defense. But it was important to get the 3 points, because Real Madrid cannot continue going. Winning against Atletico Madrid the weekend can give you a massive gap. It's difficult to manage in the next coming months. So good result, if we can say, about this Barcelona.
I mean, it was just so much slicker when Frankie de Jong came on, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You know, just the transition from defence, where he just plays his... And Pedri, I mean, it's not even close at Barcelona. Doesn't matter who he rotates. Pedri, in the big games, Pedri and de Jong are the best partnership in the middle of the park by far, by a million miles. And I know he has to give people a rest, and I know the boys were talking about in the commentary that maybe we'd like to give Pedri a rest as well. And don't forget, he came off the back of a couple of years of bad injuries, Pedri. So for the last year or so, we've seen him being fresh and fit and in fantastic form. But I'm sure Hansi Flick is aware that he has to manage his game time as well. But those two are super slick together. They're physical enough, but they're not really big guys, but they can get their foot in. They're brilliant on the ball. They're brilliant at reading games. Frankie de Jong takes up some great positions defensively when they're not on the ball to allow Pedri to go and support. And it was so much better, the ball he played in for Lewandowski, who was another substitute. And the first 45 was a struggle with some mistakes. The second 45 was much better without being brilliant. But 3 good goals, no injuries that I can think of. Some game time for 1 or 2 of the fringe players. The most important thing was the 3 points. And this La Liga title race, if we don't think Atleti are in it, and it doesn't look like it.
They're definitely not in
Maybe they'll beat Real Madrid at the weekend and things will change, but it certainly doesn't look like it, even though they were brilliant at the end yesterday against Vallecano. This one, in terms of the top 2, looks like it could go all the way. I mean, at the start of the season, we were thinking, right, how's Xabi Alonso going to cope with this? How are Real Madrid going to do? Are Barca going to be able to continue with their great form of last season? But there are still some questions about both. But it does look like, A, Barca are not going away, and B, Real Madrid, without being brilliant, are better than they were last year.
Does Flick need to have a word with Joan Garcia? Does he say, don't be an idiot, don't do that again?
The goalie.
As a
But they're born idiots.
No, he doesn't. Joan Garcia knows he's made a mistake, but he was brought to the club because outside of the top 3 in Spanish football, he was easily the best goalkeeper in La Liga last season. And to play for Barcelona, you have to be able to play with your feet. If you are going to make those mistakes, and we all do, you can do it against Oviedo, because ultimately you still come away with 3 points.
Well, here's a manager that even when people have questioned this, squeezing of the high back line, has never changed. He's just said to his players, do it better.
Yeah.
Be better at it. I'm not changing, be better. And I think it's the same with the goalkeeper here. He'll still want him to be the sweeper keeper, but he'll just say, listen, you just have to be better at it and make better decisions. In all fairness, the actual pass is on. It's not like he didn't have anything and he just had to lump it up the line. He's seen the pass. I'll give him his due. He's got decent vision. It's just the technique. That's
a lovely backhanded compliment.
He can see a pass, he just can't make a pass.
Luis, what was interesting, we discussed a lot over the last few days, Ferran Torres or Lewandowski, who is like the main man now for Hansi Flick. Nice little reminder from Lewandowski, great goal from him.
Yes, of course, and we all know the quality and talent of Lewandowski. Saw him just moving around, trying to find the spaces, but the ball wasn't arriving in the right position when he likes to enjoy. He did a fantastic turnaround for the first goal after scored Eric, but Lewandowski is all about that. When he is in the box, when he is near that area, he's so dangerous. Not only that fantastic header, but in a couple of chances before, after, he proved that he's always a threat. He turned around, he make a shot, and it was difficult for the keeper to hold it. So it's a fantastic fight that they're going to have to try to get more minutes. But right now, I think the Ferran Torres is ahead of him.
Which is the harder goal to score? The Reina goal or the Lewandowski goal?
The what goal?
So the Reina one, obviously, when the goalkeeper's made the mistake, you got the open goal, but you still got to hit it sweetly first time. Or that skill from Lewandowski to be able to get that header where he wants to put it from that sort of range.
What's this, extra time?
It's a Dan Thomas question. I've been here for a while. I wanted to ask a question. I think it's an interesting question.
I like to save the kind of stupid questions.
Why is it a stupid question? I'm intrigued.
Because you're not intrigued.
I am intrigued. I'm fascinated by your answer.
There's no real correct answer. I'm just surprised to hear Luis. I'm just surprised to hear Luis saying that he thinks Ferran Torres is ahead of Lewandowski.
Right. Okay. So what? But you just ignore my question.
No. I think you're flexing muscles here in the big games. I think Lewandowski will still be your go-to man.
Right. What about my question, Luis? Which was the better goal?
In my opinion, I think the Lewandowski is more difficult than the Reina's one.
There you are. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for a straight answer, Luis. That's all I was asking.
But it's not a definitive. It's not a definitive answer.
What do you mean? Well, you haven't given an answer, so therefore it is the definitive answer because you haven't given one. And Shaka's a goalkeeper. So.
But there's no definitive answer there. They're both difficult skills. Even
right, but Luis says there is, so we'll go with him. Just a reminder, Barcelona continue in action as we say goodbye to Luis. This weekend they play on Sunday against Real Sociedad. That game live. ESPN Plus. Where is it? Is it Camp Nou yet? No. Still no. Safety issues. There we are. Good. Good, support him. That point for Elche. Surprise start to the season for them. They're as high as 5th in the table. As we discussed earlier, Barcelona up to 2 points off Real Madrid after their victory against Real Oviedo, who sit 18th in the table. Let's get some reaction now, shall we, from Robert Lewandowski and Hansi Flick.
How do you feel with this movement of Joan Garcia in the goal conceded?
It happens. It's the style how we want that he played, and this is it could happen. This is what I have to say. At the end he's a fantastic goalkeeper, and he's also at the end he protect our and defend our last line. So he's the backup for our last line, and he did it normally really good. And one mistake and they use it, but it's football. It's football. We came back with 3-1. We won here, and this is the most important thing.
Robert, during these games, we sit behind the goal. I was behind the goal at the other end from your header, and even from there, it was extraordinary.
Oh, this for me now. I didn't see I didn't yet see this goal, in the television or after, because when you're on the pitch, you are focused just to doing your job. I saw that the corner, like the left side of the post is not. I don't want to say empty, but it's like if I put the ball there, that is possible. I have opportunity to score the goal, but also the cross from was really amazing, and I know that the space is there. Even if a little bit space, I have to be there, and I think that that was a very important goal. I know that if I came in on the game, I have to do something. I have to try to score the goal.
Was today's performance and result also a demonstration of the strength in depth that you have this season, the variety of options that you have? That maybe last year the front three, you and Lamine and Rafinha, played lots and lots of minutes, and that becomes quite hard over the course of a long season. Have you got more capacity to rotate this year, more capacity to add variety to the forward line, do you think?
We have so many games, and the season is very long, that even for me, that in the end of this year, the pre-season, I got injury, so I was out like 3 weeks, but later also I still felt some things that I couldn't do everything for 100%, and I think now I feel very, very, very good physically as well, and it's like you have to be patient sometimes. Of course, for striker, it's always easier, better to play, to have the opportunity. But sometimes you have to be also patient with and thinking that more games coming and even more important games coming. And of course, for me, I think personally it's also important because we know that the last season we had some kind of part of the season that we didn't play well, or were a little bit, I don't want to say tired, but like miss some fresh, and that's why it's important to not only looking to the next game, but for all of the season. Of course, we want every game win every game, but in the end we have to know that be more fresh for the next game and for the future. It means that we have more opportunity to be the better team.
Sid Lowe through tears interviewing Robert Lewandowski there. Sid, many want to know your reaction to Reyna's goal.
I was quite excited.
I bet you were.
Obviously, I was very professional, Daniel.
Yeah, right.
I was very professional. I didn't jump up. I did think to myself, actually, you know what? If Oviedo score at the end I'm at, it's going to be quite difficult for me not to leap over the advertising boards and into the arms of the goal scorer. In that sense, it was probably a good thing it was at the other end.
In the end, Sid, best team won, obviously. Their big changes at half-time, proving how key this De Jong and Pedri partnership is going to be going forward.
Yeah, I think De Jong made a real difference. I felt that in the first half, Pedri was the one player moving the ball, the one player having the subtlety to maybe see little spaces, little pockets of opportunities to try and create chances. Then when he had Frenkie de Jong alongside him, I think they were a far stronger midfield. I think I would put it in the context of the physical nature of the game as well, though. I think even at the end of the first half, you could see that some of Oviedo's players were tiring, and I think it did feel, to me at least, like this was one of those occasions where, come 60, 70, maybe 75 minutes, there would be a moment when Barcelona would get on top, not least, of course, because of that strength on the bench that they have. The fact that they could bring on Jules Koundé, Robert Lewandowski, Frenkie de Jong tells you something about that strength in depth. And actually, I thought it was very interesting there what Lewandowski said post-game. He said, there were moments last season where I don't want to say tired, but I think he was making it quite clear that the strength in depth, certainly for the front three, is going to be quite important this year.
Sid Lowe, as always, thank you very much. Of course, a big weekend of action in Spain. Atletico Madrid against Real Madrid. The highlight, a game you can see live on ESPN+. Atleti, of course, come into this side after that extraordinary match yesterday.